Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty, and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. I have actually taken a little bit of a break from recording recently, which I hate doing. I really hate doing just generally, because it means that you lose track of a few things, you lose track of what's going on, you lose track of the drive, really, of your series, and I feel like it definitely harms anything when you take a break. I last recorded on Monday, it's now Friday, so it's been a couple days, but I'm hoping to make it up by recording like 4 or 5 episodes today, or as many as I possibly can, at least finish the year, so that I can, have these next couple episodes be pretty high quality, hopefully gaining quality as we go along, and also so that we can... so that I can catch up. I like to try and average a video a day so that I can upload a video a day. So, try and catch up in that regard. But if anything feels a little off today, it's because for the first time in the series, I have taken a break from recording. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. I've been really busy this week. It's been a real shame. But I'm back now. It's Friday. I'm done. And I have a long weekend. And hopefully, we can get some MAW done. Today's the start of the Hot Prospects Tournament 2019. And while I do have the bracket ready, I forgot to upload it into my OBS. So I won't be able to show you guys today. But we will have the first 2 quarterfinal matches today, and I'll show you the bracket next time. So hopefully that's okay. Also, in tonight's main event of the evening, Ernest Youngman takes on the Confederation of the Territories World's Heavyweight Champion John Greed in a non-title match in our main event. And also, Syd Collier and Island Boy Apollo have a little bit of a meeting of the fists, as it were, as revenge for Syd Collier's brutal attack on Kid San Juan during the Sam Keith Classic. And, I forgot to book something. And this time I know I forgot to book something. So I'm going to show you the Ripcord... Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I was going to show you the Ripcord Invitational image like I tend to. But I just realized, since I'm showing this to you guys, I might be able to actually show you the Hot Prospects Tournament bracket. Yeah, there you go. There's the Hot Prospects Bracket Tournament. You guys can take a look at that while I book in something that I forgot to book. Perfect, am I right? Also tonight, that was announced mid-month, is that we are going to be having a all-star tag team match tonight. Number 1 contender Fro Shore is going to team up with American Elemental to take on Dewey Archer and Squeaky McLean. So that's going to be an exciting match. That's not what I was booking, I remembered that. But this is the Hot Prospects Tournament. You probably don't recognize most of the names, but there are a few legacies in there. So hopefully you recognize those guys. By the way, Miwa is not related to the Miwa who is a legend. So there you go. But Robin DeLay and James Diaz are related to people that you may know of. So there you go. Back to the game. So yes, let's get ready. We are in the Charlotte Garden tonight. And of course, we announced this last year, but I'd just like to confirm for you guys that next month, at Where It All Begins Again, we are going to be running the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium, 2,000-seater. Will we be able to double our attendance in a year? Let's hope so. Let's get in to the show. We start things off as George Woolf comes out to the ring, and he gets on the mic and he says, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the summer. I lost my Confederation of the Territories World Heavyweight Championship match before the summer kicked off, and it made me think that maybe I'm just not quite at that level. Maybe I'm not quite a world champion at the moment. But, I think I'm above. I think I'm higher than this company's champion. I think I'm higher than the Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion. And I thought to myself, if I can't ascend, if I can't win the big one, if I can't win that World Heavyweight Championship, maybe I should give back. Maybe I should teach. Maybe I should give people advice and tell people what I've learned, because I've been in this business for a long time now. And I was born into this business. I worked hard and I worked out, and I never got the opportunities I deserved, but maybe I can take a guy who was also born into this business, or maybe a couple guys who were born into this business, and I can tell them, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, and maybe those guys can get the opportunities that I was never given. So I'm going to look for people who were born in this business, people who have a name that you can recognize, and I'm going to invite them, and I'm going to get them to be under my wing, if they want to. And take all the knowledge that I've accumulated, because you know what, if I can't win that big one, maybe it's time to give back what I've learned. So ladies and gentlemen, me and Papa Dan, we're going to invite people into our fold, into our group. And the first individual that I would like to invite is Logan Wolfsbane. And Logan Wolfsbane comes out, and the two of them shake hands, and all 3 of the men stand in the middle of the ring. and it seems that they have formed an unholy alliance. As we move on to Syd Collier taking on Island Boy Apollo, and in a brutal match in a 60C, Island Boy Apollo does indeed defeat Syd Collier, and this is one of those Memphis brawls. They're just throwing punches at each other. Syd, he's got those mat grappling basics. He can work a mat match, but he just can't get any control of the match. He can't set that pace. He can't turn it into a grapple fuck. Because Island Boy Apollo is striking without prejudice. He is striking him hard and he is striking him fast. Punch after punch, elbow after elbow. Both men are broken open very early, and there is just a pool of blood in the middle of the ring as there is violence, there is vengeance, and there is hatred between these two men, and they just hate each other. And that hatred is born through the striking, born through the wrestling and that heart that there's barely a pinfall. Because that would end the match. And of course they want to win. They want to embarrass the other guy. They want to prove that they're better than him. But you know what? There's more than that. They want to hurt each other. I mean, Syd mainly probably does want to win the match. Maybe he's going for those quick roll-ups. Maybe he's going for that. Syd could get a big victory over former Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion Island Boy Apollo here. But Island Boy Apollo doesn't care. He's just beating the shit out of Syd Collier. And finally, Syd is a quivering mass of blood. And Syd's, put on a good wrestling show. But clearly Island Boy Apollo is a man possessed in this. And Syd's like just kneeling there in a pool of his own blood and is just like, come on then, finish it. And Island Boy Apollo picks him up. Island Driver, 1, 2, 3. Island Boy Apollo picks up the victory. And after the match, he gets on the microphone and he says, "That was for you, Kid San Juan." He points to the crowd, and you can see Kid San Juan is sitting there, and then it cuts back to Island Boy Apollo in the middle of the ring, and he says, "I am so delighted with the last 2 months. 2 months ago, I was low. I got to sit in the hospital with my best friend, and he was told that he may never wrestle again. I was in a bad place. I had hatred in my heart, and I knew that I was going to be a violent, nasty man for the next couple of months, and that wasn't good to me. I don't want to be violent. I don't want to be nasty. I want to be electrifying. I want to show you my heart and my passion. And you know what? Finally, after tonight, I've got it all out of my system. I've got my revenge. I can move on with my life now. So now it's time to move to the future, because you know what? I'm delighted to announce that last Saturday, Kid San Juan was cleared to wrestle next month at Where It All Begins Again. My best friend's getting back in the ring. And you know what? I want to give him the best return match I can. And after tonight, I think I've earned it. So Sam Keith, Commissioner of the Territories, I want to ask you. The hottest, the most electrifying tag team in the territories today. The Puerto Rican Boys versus the Dynamite Express at Where It All Begins Again for the World Tag Team Championship. Sam, what do you say? Make it happen. Island Boy Apollo, he's moved on. The vengeance is over, and now it's time to electrify once more, to show that heart, and to show that passion, and to win the World Tag Team titles. As we move on to, I believe it's a singles match. I can't for the life of me remember what it is, though. I cannot for the life of me. I think the next match is the tag match. Yeah, it is. It is the tag match. The All-Star tag match. And in a 60C, Froshore and American Elemental defeat Squeaky McLean and Dewey Archer when Froshore defeated Dewey Archer with a sure thing. So this match, Squeaky McLean, whenever he gets in, he's working down his opponents. That grappling style, that slow-paced, gritty style Squeaky McLean can do. He can brawl too. He can throw those suplexes, but he can work someone down. He's the type of heel who'll just lock Fro in a headlock and just sit there for like 2 minutes while the crowd just boos the shit out of him for being boring, and he's like, whatever, it's a headlock. And that's what Squeaky does. But then about halfway in the match, we get this exciting sequence with American Elemental and Dewey Archer when they just grapple all across the building. It's very clear that these two realize that they are both very strong grapplers. And we've seen in the past that when Dewey Archer is put up against a very strong grappler, he wants to over-impress. He wants to show off. He wants to show that he's a better grappler. And American Elemental is just constantly getting the better of him, out-grappling him. And Dewey Archer, far too focused on American Elemental, gets upset by Froshore from behind, who continues his shock momentum as he has his Mid-Atlantic Regional Championship match next month. And now we're moving into the Hot Prospects tournament as we start off with Yoritomo, Miwa, and Robin DeLay. And in about the terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Robin DeLay defeats Yoritomo Miwa in 12 minutes and 3 seconds by pinfall with DeLay down. And very good debut for both guys. It's actually not bad. It's not that bad a match, to be fair. I'm actually quite impressed with Robin DeLay. Very impressive stuff. Miwa, he tries to work a grappling style, tries to go quick and trying to grapple down Robin DeLay, but Robin DeLay has the power. He's a big lad, really big lad, 260, 270 pounds, muscle, chiseled, works out clearly. Legacy guy, he knows how to wrestle, and he gets that momentum going. Kind of shades of Cameron Jones from the last couple months. Voice crack. Last couple months, he's a wrecking ball. When he gets going, you just can't stop him. And in the end, Robin DeLay picks up the victory and moves on to the semifinals of the Hot Prospects tournament. As we move on to the next. After the match. Oh shit. Well, he's never being used again. After the match, George Woolf comes out, no words, extends his hand to Robin DeLay. Oh shit. Okay, so Papa Dan has never, wasn't actually George's manager until today, so we're going to just take that off. George Woolf offers his hand to Robin DeLay, and Robin DeLay takes it, and it seems the group has now become four. George Woolf, Papa Dan, Robin DeLay, and Logan Wolfsbane. George Wolf's legacy bodybuilder stable seems to be growing. On 2026, Yamato Haida defeats Horn Drill in about 10 minutes with a crushing elbow smash. Yamato Haida moves on to the semi-finals of the Hot Prospects tournament. Horn Drill with his quick pace, grappling with high flying with some strikes mixed in there, but Hayata's just a big lad, clubbing blows, wearing down the high flying Horn Drill until finally he picks up the victory with that crunching elbow smash. Just Horn Drill just gritted down until he finally gives up to the power and the aggression of Yamato Hayata. In the interview area, Ernest Youngman is making his entrance, and he goes over to Sweet Tabitha and he says, Tonight I get to have one of the biggest matches I've had in years. I was the world's heavyweight champion last year. I was number one. I was on top of the world, and you know what? It's like an addiction. It feeds you. You're on top and you love it every second. Every second you're the champ. It makes you more and more willing to do whatever it takes to keep that title. And when I lost it, it was like withdrawal. I was low. I was very low. And guys like Dewey Archer, they told me I would never be at the top again. I could never climb up again. That was my peak and I'm going downwards. And you know what? Dewey Archer, he took advantage of me. And he beat me as good as he is. And he is good. But you know what? A couple of weeks ago, I picked up the win over a couple months ago. I picked up the win over Dewey Archer. I completed my renaissance, the renaissance of Ernest Youngman, the best in the World Series. I got to beat the best the territories has to offer. And last year when I became the heavyweight champion of the world, I went to every territory and I fought their best. And I went to Puerto Rico and I slayed the legend. And then this year, all the best of the territories, they came to me. They came to the greatest territory on earth today. And I beat them. Because I'm Ernest Youngman. I'm the wrestling machine. I'm the best there's ever been. I'm the assassin of the squared circle. And tonight I get to prove it again. And I go out there against the strongest competitor I have ever stepped in the ring with. John Greed is on one of the biggest highs that I have ever seen anybody in this business. He's the Coastal Zone champion. He's the world's heavyweight champion. There's no doubt about it. Tonight is going to be a struggle. But it is something that I am used to because I love this business and I love this company. And every second I get to spend in that ring is like a high for me, baby. And you know what? Tonight I get to prove that I am the best. I get to prove that there isn't just one peak for Ernest Youngman. Ernest Youngman isn't just the best there ever was. He's also the best there is. And tonight, I'm going to prove it. And we move on to our main event of the evening. It is Ernest Youngman versus John Greed. Non-title match, and in a 56 C-. John Greed just dominates. Oh, shit. Oh, that's fine. Ernest Youngman dominates the match. He is just beating down on Ernest Youngman. We saw this really tranquil, really serene John Greed against George Wolf. But no, tonight, he's just brutal and vicious. He knows he's got to injure Ernest Youngman to stop him from getting on top with those quick, flashy, technical maneuvers. And he just tries to club him down, just tries to brutalize Ernest Youngman. Vicious strikes, lefts, rights, kicks, elbows, everything he possibly can to keep the assassin of the squared circle down. But Ernest, in a rare occasion where he doesn't show dominance, he doesn't show this excellent technical wrestling that he's capable of. This isn't an Ernest Youngman dominates a match. This is Ernest Youngman having to show heart. This is Ernest Youngman against adversity. And we've never really seen that before. Ernest Youngman matches are often a game of chess. The better man wins. There's not much about heart. There's not much about passion. It's just that he's usually the better man. But tonight, in a lot of ways, he was not the better man. And he's down, and he's out, and he's looking at that crowd, and the hot Charlotte Garden, the atmosphere of the Charlotte Garden, 1,000 paying customers cheering for the assassin of the squared circle, and he sucks it in, and he gets to his feet, and for the first time in MAW, you see Ernest Youngman down and out. He's showing heart, and he's showing a never give up attitude, and he keeps fighting, and he will not stay down, and the world's heavyweight champion will not pull rank on Ernest Youngman. Ernest Youngman is not afraid of the world's heavyweight champion. Ernest Youngman is not starstruck at the world's heavyweight champion. It don't matter who it is. Ernest Youngman will fight, because he loves professional wrestling, and he won't give up without the best fight he has, and he knows in this match that he hasn't given his best yet, and he will not stay down. He keeps fighting, and he keeps trying to put sequences together. No matter how many times John Greed counters Ernest Youngman, no matter how many times John Greed launches a brutal elbow to stop Ernest from doing some slick technical wrestling, Ernest will keep trying, and eventually he locks in the crossface chicken wing, and this isn't the usual stuff where he locks in the chicken wing and someone just immediately taps. John Greed, he's in the middle of the ring, and he just crawls. He pulls himself to the ropes. He tries so hard to get to those ropes, and it is a battle of attrition, and eventually John Greed gets there. He gets to the rope, and Ernest has to do it again. He has to work up to a second crossface chicken wing, and it looks like John Greed is about to get to that rope, and Ernest rolls backwards, taking John Greed with him, back in the middle of the ring, and after this long war of attrition, Ernest Youngman defeats the heavyweight champion of the world, and it is announced that Ernest Youngman and John Greed will have their rematch next month in the main event of Where It All Begins Again. Will Ernest Youngman become a two-time heavyweight champion of the world? Find out next episode, Where It All Begins Again. The apex of MAW in 2019. Please join us then. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the rest of the series. If you're feeling especially generous and particularly like the episode, go ahead and check out a link to my Patreon. It is in the description. If you want to hear me ramble or generally find out what's going on with the series, go ahead and check out my Twitter. A link to that is in the description. And join us next time for Where It All Begins Again, 2019. The Dynamite Express will take on Kid San Juan and Island Boy Apollo for the World Heavyweight Championship. Scythe defends his Mid-Atlantic Regional Championship against Fro Shore. John Greed defends his Confederation of the Territories World Heavyweight Championship against Ernest Youngman. And American Elemental is going to get a one-on-one match with Dewey Archer. Much more, I'm sure. Tune in then, and I will see you guys next time.